on with my life. And I guess now I get to enjoy some of the other sides of living that because of the season and the long practices and so on. I just want to say that
November 7th, 1991. A room is packed wall to wall with reporters, photographers, and sports writers in what will become one of the most famous press conferences in sports history. They are all waiting to hear from one of the most successful and respected athletes in the world. Coming off of his 9th finals appearance, having already won 5 in his early 30s, and has at least 5 good seasons left in him. Why is he calling a press conference? Are the rumors true? Is he leaving the team, taking his talents to South Beach, retiring to play baseball? He was considered by many to be the greatest basketball player in the league, possibly the greatest of all time. Well, what about Michael Jordan? Maybe. He's only got 1 ring. He's good, but he's not Magic. The entire room is silent. Only camera shutters can be heard as a nervous Magic Johnson steps to the podium.
The HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers today. I just want to make clear, first of all, that I do
This
not
was
have
over 25 years ago. Not even 3 weeks later, rock star Freddie Mercury would confirm that he has tested positive for HIV and that he has AIDS. He died 24 hours later.
Monday, the 25th of November. The rock star Freddie Mercury has died of AIDS. The 45-year-old lead singer of Queen died at his home in London.
The following year, Magic Johnson was absent from the NBA, but played in the '92 Olympics as an integral part of what became known as the Dream Team. Now, for those of you who don't know, they were pretty much the Avengers or the Justice League of basketball. It was the We Are the World of sports.
Free throw line, and the flashballs were popping like crazy all around the 12,500-seat arena as the fans here tried to get a group picture of the American squad.
Remember Space Jam? Imagine if the Monstars were the good guys, and they were able to get Michael Jordan too. Every game was a blowout, and Magic looked perfectly healthy. Meanwhile, that same year, Arthur Ashe, another famous athlete, would announce that he had contracted HIV.
A personal matter that he or she would like to keep private, so did we. There was certainly no compelling medical.
He died less than a year afterwards.
Necessity to go public.
In 1994, Magic created the Magic Johnson All-Stars, which was a basketball team outside of the NBA that played teams from all over the world. At one point, the team had a perfect 55-0 record. Fast forward to 1995, yet another high-profile celebrity, Eazy-E, would announce that he too was HIV positive.
Last week, the rap world was stunned to learn in a press conference held by his lawyer that Eazy-E had been admitted to Cedars-Sinai Hospital in Los Angeles and diagnosed as suffering from full-blown AIDS.
He died only 10 days later. This same year, Magic Johnson decided that he would return to the Lakers in 1996 for 1 more season before retiring for good. He since has said that he would not have retired in 1991 if he knew then what he knows now about the virus. It seems that he knew very little about it, and we, the public, knew even less. How were all of these rich and famous people dying from the same disease? And knock on wood, how is Magic Johnson still alive? To answer that question, we first have to answer a few others. First, what is HIV? Second, what is AIDS? And third, what's the difference? So what is HIV? HIV stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus. If left untreated, HIV can lead to the disease AIDS, which stands for Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome. Unlike some other viruses, the human body can't get rid of HIV completely. So once you have it for life. HIV attacks the body's immune system, specifically the CD4 cells, the T cells, which help the immune system fight off infections. If left untreated, HIV reduces the number of CD4 cells in the body, making the person more likely to get infections or infection-related cancers. Over time, HIV can destroy so many of these cells that the body can't fight off infections and disease. These opportunistic infections or cancers take advantage of a very weak immune system and signal that the person has AIDS, which is the last state of HIV. No effective cure for HIV currently exists, but with proper treatment and medical care, HIV can be controlled. The medicine used to treat HIV is called antiretroviral therapy, or ART. If taken the right way, every day, This medicine can dramatically prolong the lives of many people with HIV, keep them healthy, and greatly lower their chance of transmitting the virus to others. Today, a person who is diagnosed with HIV, if they're treated before the disease is too far advanced, and if they stay on treatment, they can live nearly as long as someone who does not have HIV. So what is AIDS? AIDS stands for Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome. AIDS is the final stage of HIV infection, and not everyone who has HIV advances to this stage. AIDS is the stage of infection that occurs when your immune system is badly damaged and you become vulnerable to opportunistic infections. When the number of your CD4 cells fall below 200 cells per cubic millimeter of blood, you are considered to have progressed to AIDS. The CD4 count of an uninfected adult who is generally in good health ranges from 500 to 1600 cells per cubic millimeter of blood. You can also be diagnosed with AIDS if you develop one or more opportunistic infections, regardless of your CD4 count. Without treatment, people who are diagnosed with AIDS typically survive about 3 years. Once someone has a dangerous opportunistic illness, life expectancy without treatment falls to about 1 year. People with AIDS need medical treatment to prevent death. So, how is Magic Johnson still alive? Magic Johnson has HIV, not AIDS, an important distinction that would become more significant with each high-profile case. While neither has a cure, HIV can be controlled and both can be treated in ways that extend life expectancy. Early on, it seemed like the difference between HIV and AIDS was essentially the difference between check and checkmate. HIV, much like when you were in check, meant that you must act in a way that kept you in the game. If you didn't act at all or acted in the wrong way, made the wrong move, checkmate, game over. That may have been the case at the start of the outbreak, but today that perspective is outdated. AIDS and HIV patients are planning for the future, and many HIV patients are living full lives. Just this month, more than a quarter century after being diagnosed with HIV, Magic Johnson has rejoined the Los Angeles Lakers.
President Jeannie Buss finally pulling the trigger, naming Magic Johnson their new president of basketball operations while firing both longtime GM Mitch Kupchak.
This time he's not a player. He's the president of basketball operations. He is still realizing plans that he made in his original retirement press conference. There are countless conspiracy theories about the origin of the virus. One of the most popular theories is that the government developed the virus and intentionally infected gay men in the late 70s in hepatitis B experiments. Another theory is that the CIA intentionally infected prison populations with the illness.
So they're infecting you with all kind of mess. And when you come out running to your girlfriend who's been waiting on you, then you drop AIDS on her.
Now, I have to say, most of the theories you've heard have been discredited for years, but they still make great stories. The most popular theories all have common themes. First, that the virus is man-made. Second is that the government intentionally infected specific sections of its own population. And finally, that there is a cure, and it is being kept from poor people. This one has gotten extremely popular due to Magic Johnson specifically.
Bottom line, it's a government op. Remember, Magic Johnson said he had it and was going to die, and then suddenly, oh, I'm fine, I got the cure, and they told him shut up.
From the start, AIDS was tied to sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and then sports. It's no surprise that there were so many rumors over time that were just accepted as fact. The lack of answers made people fill in the blanks with whatever made sense to them. For many people, maybe even some of you, most of the answers about AIDS and HIV just create more questions. The most common is, where did it come from?
I don't know where AIDS comes from. Who the knows? Scientists don't even know. Scientists still say AIDS started because somebody had sex with a monkey. Word.
Some people believe the source of the immunodeficiency virus in humans is actually a type of chimpanzee in Central Africa. The theory is that these chimps carried a version of this virus that mutated when humans came in contact with their infected blood somehow, most likely from eating it. This actually isn't a conspiracy theory, at least not in the same sense as the other theories about the origin of the virus. This theory is actually posted on the AIDS.gov website, where we got a lot of this information. It's the most credible theory that exists, and even it has its doubters. Right now, it seems that no one knows for certain where the virus came from. Ask around and you'll find that there are plenty of dumb answers.
I think HIV totally has turned out not to be the cause of AIDS. HIV has turned out not to be.
But there's no such thing as a dumb question. Oh, and by the way, while we're on the subject, go out and get yourself tested. Seems lately everything from the 80s is coming back in a big way. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn, whatever your podcasting app of choice. Also, for a more personal touch, follow us on Facebook, where we go live every Sunday at 7 p.m. to premiere our newest episode and interact directly with listeners, including answering some of your follow-up questions. We hope to hear from you soon, and remember, there's no such thing as a dumb question.